Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of
Today on Around Kansas, Deb is in Council Grove at the Kaw Mission Historic Site, an important stop on the Santa Fe Trail in the 1800s. We'll learn about the construction of the mission school and the annual pageant that tells the story of the Kaw Indians. Then we'll meet the past president of the Kansas Muzzleloaders Association and much more. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Around Kansas, brought to you by Tarwater Farm and Home. Come on by, we'll treat you like family.
Welcome to Around Kansas from the Kaw Mission Historic Site here in lovely Council Grove, and with me is Mary Honeyman, who's been here quite a few years. And Mary, I know this is a really special place for you, so why don't you tell us what it means to you to be here?
Okay, I've been here for about 10 years, and I absolutely love the building, the people with whom I work, and the history behind the building. That it's very special, and it's remained very special to the people who live here in Council Grove. And a lot of people come from all over the world to see this site, not just because of the Kansas Indians, but in addition to them, this was one of the most important stops on the Santa Fe Trail back in the Santa Fe Trail days, from 1821 until about 1866. The trail went through and crossed the river where Council Grove is today. It took about 27 years for somebody to get smart and actually start living here. And when Seth Hayes settled here, it started a firestorm. A lot of people moved in. Now, the town's never been over 2,500, and today I've been told it's about 2,300, but they've managed to keep the history up in this town quite well. There are 24 historical sites, and out of those 24, 13 of them are on at least 1, 2, or 3 of the National Historic Registers in Washington, D.C.
That's incredible. I dare say there's a more significant place in Kansas. There may be some equal, but surely none surpass the significance of Council Grove. Now, how long has this building itself been here?
It was built in 1850, and it was actually finished in 1851, but in 6 short months. There was no town here, so all of the stone had to be harvested, and the lumber, as well as anything that they needed. 25 men came here from the Kansas City Shawnee Mission to build this building for the Methodist Church Episcopal South. And they came in September of 1850, and by December of 1850, all of the stonework was done. Isn't that pretty incredible?
It is.
And then by February of 1851, the whole building was finished, and the Cowboys moved in May of 1851 and began their study here.
So you had, what kind of classes would you have had here? Who was studying here?
Well, actually, the Indian boys from the tribe that was surrounded, was living on a reservation surrounding Council Grove, eventually South Council Grove. It was built actually to educate them to be more like the Euro-American who were coming this way. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they studied all the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, but they also, the big emphasis was on teaching them to be farmers and to be Christians. But the boys really wanted to be hunters and warriors, and so they ran away. For 3 years straight, they kept running away, and finally, they decided to turn this building into a school for white children. And then it's had a lot of pretty interesting history from then on. And we bought the building, I mean the state of Kansas. Governor Arns signed the check. And we bought the building in 1951, and it's remained a museum since then. So it's not only been here for quite a while, but it's been a part of the Kansas State Historical Society as well.
We're going to take a break and be right back with Mary Honeyman.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer. who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Welcome back to Around Kansas. We're with Mary Honeyman at the Kaw Mission State Historic Site here in Council Grove. And we're here this weekend because there's just so much going on. And we were just talking about how this building was put up to educate the Kaw or the Kansas, and they weren't real thrilled with it then. So what kind of relationship do you have with the tribe now?
We have a terrific working relationship with them, because since 1924, when a monument was built to honor an unknown Kansas warrior who had been found in a grave in 1924. The Kaw tribe hadn't been back since they exited in 1872, because their experience it wasn't the people in the town necessarily. It's just that they had lots of disease and famine while they were here.
Yeah.
And so when they left, they weren't real interested in coming back very soon. But when they came back for the commemoration and the dedication for that monument, they've been coming back ever since. They had their first powwow in 1925 when they came back. And today we've built a city festival around the powwow. And it's the featured event of a 2-day city festival, and we have worked largely the Friends of Kaw Heritage, who are the volunteers here. We've been working with them for a long time on these 2 powwows, and we've gotten to be not only friends, but we're like family. And last night, before the Voices of the Wind performance, which tells their story, the Kaw story, while they lived here so long ago on the same land, and they are reenacting every time we do that drama, we are reenacting their history, and it's like living their ancestors' lives.
Now tell us just real quickly about the pageant itself.
Oh, the pageant is marvelous. We've done, I have done several of them, but not all of them. These 2 performances will make it 22 performances of this drama. And it's actually a pageant. It has about everything in it that you'd like to see. We have live horses, we have wagons, we have a stagecoach, lots of color. The costumes are done by the director's mother, and she is actually the chairman of the committee, and she's a great seamstress. And if you come, it's just a delight to see all these beautiful hoop skirts, and the men are attired, period style. So it really does take you back in time for a couple of hours.
Well, that's great, because the Kaw, obviously the namesake of the state of Kansas, for them to have a significant presence now is really an important thing, and to have their heritage honored here is really that's a have to, and what a important mission that is for you here.
I might tell you also that Ron Parks has written a book. He retired 10 years ago when I took this job, to write a book about the Kansas during the time that they lived around in 2 reservations around what's now Council Grove. And the mayor of town, the mayor of Junction City, declared the whole month Kaw Heritage Month in Junction City. And last Tuesday, our mayor gave Ron the key to the city and declared this entire week of Voices of the Wind people the Kaw Heritage Week. So the Kaw are feeling really pretty good about being here.
Well, Ron, what a great historian, and what a wonderful job he did. We're going to have to go now. Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, real quickly, people can come. What are your hours, regular hours here?
Oh, our regular hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 5 o'clock. And we're closed on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and state holidays.
Okay.
But other than that, we're here, and we'd love to have you all come and visit.
All year round, the admission is just $3 or something. It's
Yeah,
very reasonable.
$3 for adults and $1 for students. And
Great.
children 5 and under are absolutely free.
Well, this is one that you have to do. We'll be right back.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need. Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Welcome back to Around Kansas, and with me is Mike Blue Hawk Adams, and he does some really cool stuff, which we're going to talk about, still here in Council Grove. Mike, glad to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. Good to have me.
Now, talk about what the you're past president of the Kansas Muzzleloaders Association, so talk about what that organization is and how long it's been around.
Okay, we're getting ready to celebrate our 30th year in February. Our 30th annual convention, and it is the organization for all black powder shooters in the state of Kansas. And we promote the historical study of the highlight of the muzzleloader, and we also do presentations, and we help with the 4-H and things like that. It's for everybody from a reenactor of Civil War or mountain men or long hunters or anything like that, right on up to your everyday box shooter in a pair of blue jeans and a t-shirt with a tackle box to put his stuff in.
I got to tell you, those early hunters who are carrying these muzzle loading things that are like, 10, 20 feet long, I mean, they're from here to there, to get up to an animal and, kill it, that's a pretty amazing feat.
It really is. In the very beginning, they really thought that the longer the barrel, the longer you could shoot. And that's why so many of them were made with the long barrels. But I've been hunting and shooting muzzleloaders for about 40 years now. I gave up on modern guns, and I do all my hunting with muzzleloaders. I hunt buffalo, elk, wild pigs, deer, coyotes, anything with a muzzleloader. I hunt turkeys with a muzzleloading shotgun, and pheasants and quail and things like that. So I do it just like my ancestors did 200 years ago.
Okay, I'm not a gun expert, but muzzle loaders are not rifled, right?
Some are and some aren't. They come in, the early ones were smooth bores, just like a normal shotgun today. Mm-hmm. But they started rifling them. And so they'll match a modern gun out to about 100 yards.
Okay, so the range makes the difference with the rifling, and the accuracy and everything. So what are you doing here at Council Grove?
We're here for the Voices of the Wind People pageant. My wife and I set up the teepee village that the Kaw come and inhabit, and then we also trick out their trade room, and then we also act in the pageant. We have several parts in the pageant.
So what part do you play?
I come in as the leader of the bushwhackers that terrorize the townspeople. And we start out as coming through as Becknell in 1822 when they first came through here. And we also do a couple of town scenes, but we come in as the bushwhackers to terrorize the townspeople, and then we come back and we're the ones that actually murder the storekeeper and his brother-in-law later on. And then I do my other part that I do is I'm the one that's elected as the captain of the wagon train as it's leaving, headed for Santa Fe.
So when you're talking about the voices of the Wind People, you play so many parts, you obviously know a lot of history. And of course, this is the history of the West. You know, everything you're talking about, these are the big events and microcosm in the history of the West. So did you grow up loving that Texan? You know, you got it all.
That's it. I've always loved history, and I've just taken my love and made it my business. I love this area, the Voices of the Wind People pageant, because it tells so much of the history of Council Grove from both sides. It's a balanced pageant, which you don't see in a lot of places. And it tells it from the Indian side, it tells it from the white side, and it balances it out to make you understand what it was like for the Native Americans that were here when they were losing their land as the Europeans came. So there's just a lot of history in Kansas that people don't know about. We've got a lot of wonderful historic sites.
Mike, thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
We'll be right back.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Around Kansas, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome to Around Kansas in Council Grove, Kansas, one of the most historic towns in the state, right along the Santa Fe Trail, so its history goes way, way back. And this is a real special weekend in Council Grove with the presentation of the Voices of the Wind People. So there's a lot going on in association with that, and we've got a couple of folks involved in the whole weekend, and that would be Catnip and Brother Blue. Welcome, thanks for joining us. So tell us what you're doing, and this is your camp behind us, right?
Yes, I'm the one on the end, and I've been doing this living history demonstrations like this for 8 years. This is my first year for Voices of the Wind People. And but basically, it's very similar to other events that I've done in Americus and in Topeka for Cider Days.
So, Brother Blue, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing living history stuff since 1985, on and off. This is my second year for Voices of the Wind People, and I've done the Cider Days deal and several others around the state. So,
now, when you talk about living history, what era is it that you're portraying?
Here we're portraying the Santa Fe Trail days from 1822 on up to about 1869, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it covers several decades. Yeah. I like history, and what is nice about the living history is that you actually pick up the things that they used to use, and you actually use it when you're camping out, like in day-to-day life. Just kind of using the old-fashioned can openers and using the old methods of preserving food and things like that. So
I think the old-fashioned can openers, that's really interesting because folks don't think about having canned food way back, but we sure did.
Yeah, they had that back in the 1700s. So
I know that the Steamboat Arabia exhibit has, you know, the canned food and all that, which is really interesting. Now, you're from Hayesville?
I'm from down in Raymond, Kansas.
Oh, excuse me, Raymond, Kansas. Now, tell us about Raymond.
Raymond is, well, it was founded in 1872. It was a cattle town for about a year, and then the railroad was moved further west, and the deadline was moved further west, and Raymond kind of went bust after that. So, but it's still a small, thriving community. So.
And what county is that in?
Rice County, and it's down between Hutchinson and Great Bend. If you drew a straight line between those two, so.
So, Elizabeth, talk about what you're actually demonstrating. When people come up to your site here, what do you do to talk about the old days?
I'm mostly just living as if I were living at that time. Mm-hmm. So I'll demonstrate cooking techniques and cleaning techniques and basically just what someone would do in a camp at a rendezvous, when the mountain men would come down out of the mountains and trade with the merchants. That would be a rendezvous like this. And sometimes there'd be trade goods out, and
out in this part of the country, it's more of a long hunter kind of thing, because they didn't have the mountains. So, but the mountains, they did have rendezvous, and those were more in eastern Wyoming, Denver area, moving on up from there. So.
Right. Well, thanks so much. We've got a lot more folks to visit with, so we'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. Around Kansas, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Around Kansas, and we're visiting with Jeremy Williams, who came up from Oklahoma to be a part of the cast here. And Jeremy, you were saying that you used to come up here as a child.
Yes, ma'am, I sure did. I came up whenever I was younger. My grandpa would bring us up, and we enjoyed coming to the dance.
Now, he was, you said, vice chairman of the tribe?
Vice chairman of the tribe. His name was Newman Little Walker, Jr.
So what does this mean to you when you come up to Council Grove, you know, where the Kaw were for so many years, and you know, to be a part of this? What does that mean to you personally?
Personally, I mean, I guess I could say it kind of brings you back home. Mm-hmm. I enjoy coming up here and participating in the dance, and I participated this year in a pageant, so I enjoy that, and I like to bring my family up here and enjoy the culture.
Now, the dance that you do in the pageant, is that something that is scripted? Is it something that you guys have control over? How does that work?
It's kind of like an individual dance. You got your own footwork, you got your own moves that you do. It's not scripted, so it's kind of just go with it, you know.
Wonderful. Well, it's so nice to meet you, and thanks for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best part of Dorothy's